Let me show you some tweets from these mad dog American politicians. I mean, first let's begin with Biden. Look at this garbage. So Biden says, I just met with my national security team for an update on Iran's attacks against Israel. Our commitment to Israel's security against threats from Iran and its proxies is ironclad. Yeah, well, you're doing a pretty crappy job. So roll over. You're lost. You suck. You lost. Get out of the region. Go away. I mean, they talk about Israel as if it's the same country. And in many ways it is. You understand why. Because this weird relationship is so bizarre. I mean, no one talks about another country like that. As if it's their own country. What is this? You don't even talk about us like that in Britain. And we're the same country. We're the same country, man. You just ran off and made up a new flag. Calling it an attack. Look at these nasty people. These people are the terrorists. Who is this idiot? So she's a congresswoman from Texas. In Texas. Iran is a terrorist nation. They have just launched a disproportionate attack against our ally Israel. It's a pretty good Bush impersonation, right? Or impression, rather. Jesus, can you imagine impersonating him? So she says the free world and the United States will stand against this terrorist nation and the tyranny that it promotes. Jesus Christ, I mean, Dick Cheney could have written this, or David Frum. The free world and the United States. What is this crap? What are you, in 2001? The free world. Utter garbage. Utter garbage. Saudi Arabia, the foreign ministry, have released a communique expressing their concern, expressing their deep concern over the military escalation developments in the region and its serious repercussions. The kingdom urges all parties to exercise maximum restraint and to protect the region and its people from the dangers of war. Yeah, okay. So again, when you defend yourself, now it's, oh, you have to exercise restraint. I mean, how dare you talk about restraint? Have you not seen the restraint exhibited by Iran? I don't know anyone who's more patient. I don't know anyone who is more patient. Iran have been hit badly many times, and they bit their tongue. And they know that revenge is a dish best eaten cold. They know that. And they built up, and they built up, and they built up, and they improved, and they advanced, and they went forward, and now it's spanking time. Now it's spanking time, and they're all whining, they're all crying, they're all whinging, because now they don't like it, do they, when it's their turn? Hypocrites. Look at this filth, Mike Pompeo. Sorry, I mean, I don't like to call somebody that, but neoconservatives deserve it after what they've done. Watch this.
Mike Pompeo, former Secretary of State and CIA Director, now Fox News contributor. Iran has a $1 million bounty on week of the.
Well, Martha, it's great to be with you. I think what we can see is the risk is pretty significant. It sounds like they have pretty specific intelligence about a relatively imminent attack. They may know more than they've even let on about both timing and the nature of that attack. I haven't seen the intelligence, obviously. But, Martha, as a policy matter, what I think this suggests is we've lost the bubble. We've lost deterrence, right? The Iranians have already attacked Israel once on October 7th through their proxy Hamas. They're continuing to fire on American interests in the region now over.
Again, I'll repeat to you that nobody knew in the resistance axis, neither Hezbollah nor Syria nor Iran, none of them knew that Hamas were going to attack on October 7th. And again, when we use the verb attack, it makes it sound like, they started the fight. Dude, the Israelis have been attacking for 75 years. Actually, it's much more than that, right? Because they were already emigrating en masse for 40 years before there was any Israel. And there was lots of killing and lots of terrorism with their Haganah And again, the same thing with Iran. It's like history always begins when, when people defend themselves. That's when history begins for Zionists and imperialists. You're the attacker. How dare you stand up for yourself?
100 times since October 7th. And so what we're talking about in the next 24 or 48 hours is just a continuation of a failed policy to actually protect Israel. And so when I hear President Biden say he's prepared to defend them, last week he told them they couldn't continue to destroy Hamas. And so they've really told the Iranians this is.
Am I losing my mind? Am I hallucinating? What is this man babbling on about? How can anyone come and say that they are more Zionist than Joe Biden? What do you want him to do? What has Joe Biden not done that you would do? This guy is so Zionist, he has his head shoved up, you know who. It's disgusting how Zionist Joe Biden is. Truly disgusting. You all know the videos. I don't need to look them up, where he's saying, you don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist. I'm a Zionist. Yes, clearly, we can see that. I mean, the statements also that, if I think it's Pelosi, you might have said it as well. And they're all part of the same crew. They all think like this. And they said that, were there not an Israel, they would have to invent one or build it. I mean, they talk about Israel like it's their own country, like it's more valuable than the United States. Make your minds up. Are you politicians who represent constituents in the United States, or are you colonizers in Palestine? I know they try to be both, but it's really vile seeing that. It's so weird. And Mike Pompeo is coming here and acting like Biden hasn't done enough for Israel. What, do you want another genocide, like 2 for 1, or two for the price of one? What exactly has he not allowed the Israelis to do? Please give me an example. You can't. Even his statements today, which says, what's your response? It's don't. Well, he said don't multiple times, and don't isn't a national security policy. It's not even a deterrent. This is, frankly, don't from President Biden suggests don't do anything that would draw us in, and then we'll accept it. This is really dangerous stuff, Martha. What a bunch of nonsense. Honestly, I can't stand this guy. He acts like, Joe Biden isn't doing enough. I mean, I can't believe I'm defending Joe Biden. I'm not, actually, but it's weird. It's very weird. Out of all the issues, this is the last one where a Republican or a neoconservative can come and say, you're not as Israeli or Zionist as me. Joe Biden, remember, I covered the nuclear deal negotiations on the ground. I was there. And they were very close to signing it again. But then the Americans, they dropped everything. They dropped everything. Now, of course, the Ukraine war started, but that doesn't impede one from engaging in accords or signing treaties or conventions or bilateral or multilateral agreements. There are always wars with the Americans, and they're perfectly capable of signing accords. So I don't accept this excuse. Joe Biden and his administration are just as bad as Donald Trump, just as bad as Barack Obama, just as bad as George Bush. We've had consecutive neoconservatives. It's true. Look at Israel. Look at the attitude. Look at this poison that they secrete, that they that comes out of them. It's intolerable, honestly. Every day they got to bomb someone in the Middle East. It's always neoconservatism. And Joe Biden didn't get back in the nuclear deal. What does that mean? That means there are sanctions on Iran. So again, you need life-saving medication. Too bad, can't get it because Joe Biden is a neoconservative. They also put limitations on Iran with the SWIFT system. Iran was the first one to be banned from it. I mean, insane things, right? Insane things. Where you're really, it's like a siege. In the old days, in medieval times, when they would surround a town or a castle and they would wait it out till the people inside ran out of food and died. A siege, right? You trap the people in a circle. This is the modern equivalent. Sanctions are the modern equivalent of a siege. In every sense of the term. In every sense of the term.